Today you are going to learn how to make delicious coconut macaroons. This is a very simple recipe and you'll be surprised at how quick it comes together. Here are your ingredients, but don't worry, there will be a link below that will give you full nutrition information as well as the recipe. You want to begin by getting a baking tray, and if you want you can line it with parchment paper. You can even use scrap paper like I'm using here. You can also bake it directly on the tray or use a silicone mat. You want to preheat your oven to 350 or 180°, and you need a cooling rack. Set that aside and let's get started. In a large bowl, we are going to put in some shredded coconut. 14 ounces. It can be sweetened or unsweetened. I actually prefer the unsweetened, but some people like this more sweet flavor, so I'll leave that up to you. To that, we're going to add in 3 tablespoons of flour. Ideally, you would use rice flour or corn flour, but if you don't have those, ordinary white flour or wheat flour will work as well. You want to just stir this up to break up the lumps. And as you're stirring, if it's not breaking up all the lumps, you can use your fingers and break them up that way. Now there are several ways to make this cookie. However, I'm just going to show you the one that I've been using for years. I find it's absolutely delicious. Don't feel bad if you want to try different recipes. Some of them don't even use egg whites. One thing that is really great in this recipe is condensed milk, the sweetened kind. You want 1 can or 14 ounces. And be sure to take the time and scrape out every little bit of this because it's absolutely delicious. Once you get that scraped out, then you want to add in your vanilla, which is 1 teaspoon or 5 milliliters. Then just stir it together and you're going to set it aside. Now some recipes don't use the sweetened condensed milk at all, but I just find that it's absolutely delicious. And if you are lactose intolerant, I have some good news for you. They actually have lactose-free milk now. So just check your aisle for it. You want this to be a very sticky mixture like this, and it will be very clumpy. So to make it lighter, we're going to add in 2 egg whites, which is 60 grams, and to that we're going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which is about 1.25 grams. And don't do what I'm doing here and add too much salt. I accidentally put in a teaspoon of salt, and man, were they salty cookies. They actually still tasted okay. You want to mix this until you get a nice medium stiff peak, and I do recommend you use a electric mixer because this will take you about 10 minutes by hand. I don't recommend doing this by hand unless you want a good workout. It should look like this. See how the peak just falls over a little bit? And I will go ahead and just stir it up a bit more and try to show it to you. Let's see if I can get it turned upside down right and you can get in the screenshot. Well, sorta. Here you go. It should just kind of basically fall over but still hold a shape whenever you get it in there. You want to mix half of this in and then put the last bit of it in. The reason why you don't put it all in at once is because you'll knock out all the air that you just created in those nice fluffy eggs. This doesn't take long at all. Now I will tell you, some people make this recipe and skip the egg whites entirely. I think it does work and it doesn't taste too bad. However, the egg whites just really give it that nice extra light filling to them and gives a nice crunch to the cookie as you bite down into this chewiness that you don't get if you omit the egg whites. However, if you don't want to use the egg whites, you don't have to use them. And if you want to know what to do with those egg yolks, I can give you a link below that will give you a recipe to some brownies that are absolutely delicious. Next, you can use a cookie scoop or you can use a spoon. I actually like the spoon better because it gives it an irregular shape and it just looks really good. And you're just going to knock them off, and you can mound them up like this and make them a little bit shaped more, or you can just like dollop them on and just let them look like whatever they do when they fall off the spoon. If you love coconut, you're going to absolutely love these cookies. Once you get them all on the tray, you're going to bake them 15 to 20 minutes or until they're golden brown like this. Don't try to pick them up right away. Give them about 1 to 2 minutes before you put them on a cooling rack, because if you try to move them right now, they'll just fall apart completely. Once they are finished cooling, we will look at them and let you see what they look like on the inside. And look at this. They're absolutely beautiful on the inside. They're soft and chewy, yet crunchy. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Visit us at jacksonsjob.com for more, and as always, happy baking.